I wouldn't describe it as a place at the negotiating table. I would describe it as being part of a conversation in which it becomes very clear to Iran and to Russia what the coalition countries are expecting in terms of a settlement in Syria. It would be based on the Geneva I formula, the setting up of a transitional governing council that would have full executive powers to ensure that they can maintain state institutions, both civil and military, the departure of Bashar al-Assad, the writing of a constitution, and the holding of elections.
But the Americans and the British have accepted that President Bashar al-Assad can stay in part for a short time during the transition. Would you agree to that?
Our position, I believe the position of the countries in the coalition is really a unanimous one. We may have slightly different ways of expressing it, but we're basically saying the same thing. What we're saying is that at the beginning of the process, it has to be very, very clear to the Syrian people that Bashar al-Assad will leave by a date certain. It can't be probable, it can't be possible, it has to be certain. And then that date will depend on how quickly one can transition power to the governing council and how quickly one can take over the security forces in Syria to ensure that the security forces don't collapse and the civil institutions don't collapse.
This is the most serious, sustained diplomatic push to end the conflict. How do you rate its chances of success?
You hope for the best and prepare for the worst. I'm not a gambler, so I can't put odds on success or failure. But what I have seen is that over the past few months, there has been a coming together of the forming of a consensus among the allied countries, and we are now trying to see if gaps can be bridged between the allied countries who are supporting the moderate Syrian opposition and the Russian position.
But at the same time as you're stepping up the talks, you're stepping up the military supplies. There's talk of even ground troops, of ground raids. That's what the United States is saying.
Without a doubt, we have to support the Syrian opposition as if there are no peace talks. We have to intensify that support. We have to contribute to changing the balance of power on the ground, because that ultimately will open up the door for the departure of Bashar al-Assad.
And what if President Bashar al-Assad refuses to go? After all, he does have support within the country.
He will go. There is no doubt about it. He will go. He will go either through a political process or he will be removed by force. There is no doubt that he will go.